Hi guys. Okay, so this video is applicable if you are a brand new jewelry designer and you're currently in the middle or thinking about creating or developing, say, the sketches of your jewelry designs. So really you're in the first stages of your jewelry development. Because today I want to talk about all the different kinds of jewelry, since there are literally so many different types out there. And so really just to give you some food for thought about the designs you're creating and how to speed the communication to a potential supplier to ensure that they really are the right fit or match to produce your designs. You know, in a previous video, I talked about the questions you should ask a manufacturer when you're researching various suppliers, but you know, those are more of the general or the main questions to ask. Today, I want to talk about the jewelry designs themselves because, like I said, there are so many different types of jewelry. Are your jewelry designs all plain silver or solid gold? Or do they have pearls and stones incorporated with them? Or perhaps you're wanting to use other materials such as shells, meaning a mother of pearl, pink shell or onyx, turquoise, granite, that sort of thing. I'm going to be sharing with you images of all of those in this video, so don't worry. But yeah, not only do I want you to think about whether your jewelry will incorporate any of those components, but more importantly, how to communicate to, say, a potential new supplier this sort of information about the type of jewelry you're hoping that they can produce for you. And so this is all based on my experience of working with brand new customers and how I feel would help kind of expedite the process and have a lot of questions answered for both parties a little faster. If you can save time and effort from the start, then why not, right? Stay tuned to the second part of this video too, which I'll be sharing with you some inside information on what are the most popular jewelry styles that we as a manufacturer have produced for our customers. If any of you are new to this channel, I'm Kim, owner of Tar Design Distributors. We're a third-generation family business since 1975, where we own our manufacturing plant in Thailand, specializing in producing silver and gold jewelry exclusively for designers. We have our headquarters in London and sales and support office in the US. Please get familiar to what we do here and watch my intro video, which tells you more about me and the purpose of this channel. And of course, please like, subscribe for my latest tips and videos on jewelry manufacturing. Okay, so we've done a sufficient amount of videos that you guys know exactly what I do for a living, but I just want you to put yourself in my shoes for a second. And just imagine that, you know, over the years of me having that first initial meeting or talk with a brand new customer, I am totally clueless as to what type of jewelry they're hoping they want me to potentially produce for them. I mean, it's 100% important that they ask me about how our manufacturing plant is run, our ethos, our work ethics, payment terms, turnarounds, etc. Those are definitely the main and general questions that you need to ask, which are super important. And, you know, I can talk about that and repeat that till the cows come home. But in the back of my mind, as much as we, as a manufacturer, and I speak on behalf of other manufacturers too, as much as we are interested in learning about you and your history, it's also just as important for us to identify the likelihood of whether we can produce your jewelry for you or not. You know, I've talked about you finding out what the manufacturer's strengths and weaknesses are, their capabilities and skills, but let's now just focus on your jewelry designs. After you've done your research on the supplier, you've asked all these important questions about how they work, etc. It's really then that you need to make sure that you tell us what type of jewelry you're wanting us to produce for you. Now, I've had new customers send us their design sketches or even their CAD files without even having that first chat, which, you know, that's all great. Shows a lot of trust on their end to go ahead and, you know, send that over. And I mean, what's great is that really within a few seconds, myself and my HQ team should be able to determine if we can produce those designs or not. I'm not saying you have to send the supplier your design straight away. Really, I'm not, but you can and should explain in more detail about your jewelry designs. So I'm going to show you a few imagery examples. And please note that these are not jewelry pieces that we produce exclusively for my customers. These designs are Thai Design's in-house range, which is widely available to see on our website under our in-house collection. But I just wanted to give you some imagery to help illustrate how you can describe your jewelry to a potential supplier without having to release or send any of your sketches or images over to them. So for example, if it's a plain silver or a gold piece, let them know if the style is more of a complete 3D shape as opposed to just a flat piece. Whether it's more geometrical in shape or entails details on the surface such as a laser pattern, or it could even be a hand engraved design or pattern. Or is it about the texture? What kind of texture? It could be a slight hammered finish or a matte or sandblasted finish. Give a description because it allows the supplier to assess whether they have the capability to do those different textures and whether they have the equipment or machinery to achieve that. So for example, I've got a customer where all their jewelry pieces have a hammered effect, but yet there's different size options of the hammered finishes available. If it's all about a high mirrored or a high polish effect that you're wanting to achieve, then again, the supplier should be confident that they have the right polishing machine to achieve that effect. Maybe you have a part or a section on the jewelry piece that requires gold plating, so it's more of a two-tone color. Then again, let them know this because some manufacturers might not plate in-house to offer that service. When it comes to using other components such as stones, again, what kind of stones you're looking for them to source? Is it semi-precious stone like amethyst, citrine, topaz, peridot, or is it precious stones like emeralds, diamonds, or sapphires? Let's say you want diamonds set into your pieces. Let the supplier know what grade or clarity of diamonds you're expecting to have set. Do not expect all jewelry manufacturers to have stock of any of these stones. I've had customers assume that I have, let's say, 4x4 square blue topaz in stock at my manufacturing plant. And I have to remind them that, hey, look, I'm not a stone supplier. And though we certainly have the ability to source stones and other components or materials used to incorporate within the jewelry, and we definitely utilize that service of sourcing, customers shouldn't expect us to just have an abundance of stones sitting at our plant ready to be used. So that's why it's important to let your supplier know firsthand about these other components, because it could be the case where they don't specialize in sourcing certain stones or materials, or they don't have the capability to set stones at their factory, and they might have to outsource that side of production. For example, I mentioned in a previous video that for Tide Design, we don't specialize in micro pave stone setting. That's just not our specialty. So just be sure to ask your supplier once you describe the jewelry you're wanting them to produce for you, whether that's within the worker's skill and capability. Either way, it just allows you to have that dialogue and again, gives you a better awareness of how you're going to proceed forward. Right, so just going back to the various styles of jewelry, perhaps you wanted to add some enamel color into the pieces to give it a pop of color. Has the manufacturer worked with hot or cold enameling before? If you're wanting cut shells, for example, set into the jewelry pieces, again, be clear to explain the material and what sort of shape you want them to cut. The shells that we use are all cut by hand, so you can imagine that it starts getting more difficult if the design is a complex shape or the size of it's really small, which would entail more high-skilled labor, which remember will probably be reflective on the price, especially if it's handmade. If you're intending to have pearls added to your pieces, again, be specific on whether you're looking to have freshwater or cultured pearl. Again, there's lots of various shapes and names that refer to different pearls. Can the supplier source them for you? Similarly, with precious or semi-precious stones, if they can, is there a minimum quantity that they have to buy them for? And will that stock and cost be passed down to you? In my business, if that's the case, we just hold their inventory on the account, keep it safe, and use it for the customer for future orders. Maybe if it's a manufacturer that specializes in incorporating pearls, they might have plenty of stock in certain sizes or shapes that you can utilize. The same with a supplier that may specialize in stone setting for the majority of their clients. They probably keep stock too. But this is just food for thought for you guys, because if your design collection does specialize in the use of, say, other components, then it's worth doing your research upfront on whether you can find a suitable manufacturer that can make the jewelry designs. It's kind of like working backwards in a way, looking at your designs and then what they incorporate, and then reaching out to some applicable suppliers. Ultimately, it's always a shame for me or my team to have to say to a customer, look, I'm sorry, but we just don't specialize in, say, diamond-crusted platinum engagement or wedding rings. It's just not what we do or within our capabilities. Now, FYI, don't worry if, say, you're wanting to incorporate something a little different, such as, I don't know, small pieces of wood with sterling silver pieces, or another particular material, and you don't get much luck finding a supplier that can work with those materials. Still, don't be afraid to reach out to them and still ask. You'll see on my website, for example, in the in-house range collection, that I provided images of the main components that we use with sterling silver or gold. But there are a lot of materials that we've used presently and in the past for my customers, which obviously I can't show you due to the exclusivity rights, but you'll be surprised with all the different challenges that we get asked to use. The same applies to other manufacturers, so it's still definitely worth asking them, even if there's no evidence of that particular material being marketed, say, on their website. So we've talked about the components that you might use with the silver or gold metal, but the same goes with the metal, or base metal, as I should say. If you're looking to have, say, for example, sterling silver and gold produced, why reach out to a supplier that specializes only in manufacturing stainless steel, brass, bronze, or copper metal, or vice versa? So again, save time and research for suppliers that best match what you're wanting to have made. I know it may seem like total common sense, but you'll be surprised with how many people have asked us about using materials that we've never mentioned in any of our marketing platforms. Lastly, one tip I want to give you is, can you back up your subscription of your jewelry with any generic images or photos that you can just pick up, say, from Google? Just to use an illustration or an example of what you're looking for them to make. When I talked earlier about the hammered finish, well, you might want a light or a deep hammered effect, or a different size of the hammered finish that you're wanting. So yeah, if you can back it up with any similar images that you can throw in there, then that would really help speed the communication between us, the supplier and the designer. And hopefully, if the supplier says yes, and they're confident that it's something that they can do, then, get an NDA signed, and then you can finally release any of your jewelry sketches or CAD files, whatever you have, or wherever you are in your design development. Okay, friends, that's it for today. As I said, I'll be following this up with my second part video, giving you some inside information on what are the most popular designs or lines of jewelry that we manufacture to our customers. But for now, hopefully you found this video helpful. And of course, if you've got any questions, please just drop it down in the comment section below. Thanks again so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.